Start. I started. Why isn't it responding? Okay. Start over. Oh, it is responding. Okay, it's just lagging. This can be a tricky one. All right, let me go through and kill a couple of windows here because I've been trying to line stuff up here for a little bit. Do I need this? No. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Okay, that's good enough. This is going to have to be as ready as I'm going to get, I guess. This is a big topic. Good Lord, where do you start? How do you teach somebody in an hour how to identify a die variety? Not going to happen, really. We can get into it, but it's rather involved. Oh, let's see. We got 0 people watching. We got 37 comments. People saying hello. Let me see. Oh, let me find this. Okay. Now it's gonna be tricky because I got the little scope disconnected, which there it is. So we got a big black screen, but I got it on the screen rather than on the USB. So we'll just be juggling around to try to figure this out. You see peaches, or can you? If you see a goofball waving at you, then I know we're good. Hola, amigos. Coin Dragon thinks he's Mexican today. Konnichiwa, Coin Dragon-san. I think I'm Japanese. I gotta blow my nose. Oh, let me cover that screen. I don't have to move my chair. Oh, that's so much better. I can hear again. Alrighty, let's get everybody in here. Wow, I've got stuff scattered from here to there right now, just trying to get ready for this. What do I focus on most? You know, what do I go into first? That's always a trick. And then, do I have notes? Here's some notes. Yeah, I got about 3 hours of sleep after this morning. I got on this morning just to answer a couple questions from Tacone, Ryan Madison. And we got to drawing pictures and stuff. You know, just tearing it up. And that went on for like 2 hours. I drew submarines and little squiggly lines and tried to, you know, explain how things work. That's a neat one. That worked out pretty well in the end. But it started, I just want to answer a couple quick questions for a few minutes. And went on for 2 hours. Alrighty. And those are easy questions. What we're getting to now is how do you come up with those funny little numbers, right? You got say a 1972 double die, and you got this gibberish down here, DDO 003, right? Or you got oh, here's a good one. This is copper coins 1 DR 01. I'm gonna guess that's a 9. That's a class 9. Nothing in Wexler on that one. Or how do you get what's this one gonna be? DDR 069. Then you got this gibberish 69 RVIII. What is this gibberish? And how can I get this on my coins? Because I want that. All right. We got all kinds of stuff going on here. Let's see, where do we start? We're going to start with this one because it's right here in front of me. There's a process, a method. Did you get my email address? Oh, Coin Dragon. I can get some money to you. Get a hold of me. You know how. Look, there it is. And let's work that out. You got Facebook Pay? Facebook Pay doesn't charge anything. I can't even use a scope. All right. Screw it. I'm going to go have a picnic. You guys stay cool. I'm going to get some chicken and just hang out in the sun. It's a nice day out there. Okay. How do I get to there? One moment. Bear with me. Screen. Okay. Is that the one I want, or do I want the... Yeah, this will work. Screen. I'm going to go to the screen and pop this up. Of course, it's going to be out of focus. There we go. We're going to figure out what this is. This is a doubled die. Okay, one key feature you're going to notice is right in the 0. You have points, you have cusps. Let's take a look over here. You got extra thickness, especially on the RTY. And I'm a little off to the right here. Let me move this hair. There you go. And you should be able to see the mouse. I got extra thick on that, the vertical bars of the E, the R, And that big fat, that's big, that's fat. And on the Y, and a little bit on the diagonals, right? You're going to find these things. Over here on the 2, a little bit thicker here compared to this thickness. This should be uniform thickness all the way across. Right? Up in the top and the bottom of the 0, you get these points. It's like if you turn it sideways, that would be shaped like an eyeball. All right, like CBS, where it's not round. You got points. Let's explain that for a minute. What we're trying to do here. Now you're gonna have to bear with me because I'm gonna be all over this screen here, and it's gonna be tough to keep up with chat. Oh, let's see. Here's chat. There's Paula. There's Ant. Lincoln Central. Thanks, Lincoln, for the PayPal. That's for tomorrow's class. If you want to tomorrow's giveaway, if you want to donate for that. See on the left of the Y. You see those search for die crack strips in the top of the shield reverse? Yeah, all kinds of things. Well, let's get into explaining what I'm looking at right now first. Okay, we had that 0. Your normal 0 is going to start over. There you go. It's going to be round, right? You're going to have a round circle inside. The thickness, pretty much most places, is going to be the same. What you have in that example is, well, it's kind of round, right? But inside, I've got cuffs. It comes to points. And I'll exaggerate this. So I've got points rather than a good round circle. All right, now figure this. If I hub a coin, right, I've got a circle. I'm going to hub the die. And I should have a good even circle there. But I'm going to do it twice, right? I'm going to hub it once. I'm going to hub it again. They're going to overlap just a bit. All right. So I've got another circle coming in here. This is what I want to see here. I've got these little points right there, which are cuffs, if you will. And my finish line is going to be more like this, where they come up to a point, and that gives me the cat's eye look. And that's a neat thing to, if you pick that out, you're probably onto something. All right, you've got notches. Let's say on the number 1, that's a real easy one because it's a rectangle for the most part. All right, but if I did that twice and shifted it just a bit, I would have 2 rectangles showing up on that coin. You follow me? And here I got a notch. It's a step, not on the height, but on the flat direction. All right, so this whole thing would be solid metal. And you get these funny little notches. Sometimes you get a letter, right? Let's see if I can draw this one right. This is gonna have to do. Okay, and I've got extra bits where I've got more S up here, but it's not complete. It's just a piece of an S, kind of a raised bit here. And there's another one above that. All right, what we're looking at here are die varieties. We're looking at doubled dies. We're looking at repunched mint marks. Right? We're looking at dies that have been doubled in different ways because you can rotate the hub, you can rotate the die, you can shift them left and right, up and down. You can twist one and not the other. You can twist them and shift them. All sorts of things going on here. You got to get past the, where the hell did my notes go? There you go. That first bit of inspection first. There's 4 major sections here when you want to identify a die variety. First is inspecting your coins. You lay out your coins, you take a look at them, and you want to have a 10x loop to identify a lot of these. Right? Anything less than a 10x loop, a magnifier glass, you're not going to be able to catch some of these die varieties because they're so darn small. Let me show you one that looks just like this here. Where the heck did it go? Should be right. No. Well, I swear I had it. There we go. And so you'll be able to pick these things out, but you have to have the right tools to get going. And a 10x loop is going to find it for you. We're going to go to the screen again. if I can figure this out. Where's that screen? There. I'll give you eBay as a background. What's it doing? There it is. Now what's it doing? This part isn't supposed to happen at all. Okay, here we go. You've got this S, and you should be able to see it. Let me move it over here. It's a 1955 S. Great shape on this pretty thing. And when they're brand new looking, it makes it a whole lot easier. You're going to see just above this S, what I just drew, you've got a couple extra lines. This is raised metal right above here. You also get a little bit down here, but this tends to be the shoulder of the mint mark punch. When you identify these things, well, first you got to find them. You're looking at extra metal. You get nothing over here, nothing out of the ordinary. Absolutely wonderful here. The only fundamental difference is this bit of extra metal above the S. Okay, there it is. You get two parallel lines. And this is actually a repunched mint mark, and I can show you this. I think I have it laid out. Here we go. Here's the screen. This is, Copper Coins gives it 1mm001. That's their funny little number. Now you got Wexler, he calls it WRPM001. Okay, let's get into explaining what that is all about first. I'm going to get back here, home, and go to the, home. Okay, this is the card that I have for that coin you were just looking at. It's an RPM, a repunch mint mark. 1955 S is the date. Grade is choice, brilliant, uncirculated. It's a top 100 Konica. RPM is repunched mint mark. All right. The various attributors have their own little nomenclature, their own little code for how they identify it, how they attribute it. You know, every coin that looks just like this is going to have these same identification numbers. Wexler, he takes the same RPM, puts a W in front of it. So if you say WRPM or WDDO for double die obverse, or WDDR for double die reverse, that's Wexler. Now Copper Coins, and I put that as CCC just for my notes. He calls this one 1mm. That's a 1mm mint mark, and it's a repunch. There's other types of mint mark issues. He calls it a number 1 because it's a repunch mint mark. And 001 on each of these, that's their first listing. Real easy. Oh, CRPM, again, it's an RPM, repunch mint mark. And this is C is for Crawford. That's Billy Crawford's work. But of course, he passed away, and his work is mostly out of print. So it's hard to get to that. But you can cross-reference these things. What we want to do today, however, is go from finding that thing, hey man, I got something weird on this penny, to coming up with that number. And this is going to be a chore. Good Lord. There's a lot to it. Hard to know where to start, but we're going to jump right into it. Your basic process is inspection, discovery, identification, and confirmation. And if you can't confirm it, then you have catalog it. Kind of a neat thing there. It's either known or not known. So inspecting, we cover that in all the other coin roll hunting videos. You go through your pennies and you hunt for stuff. You hunt for all kinds of neat stuff, and they're out there. You've got RPMs, DDOs. Where'd that one go I had? That's not it. That's not it. Is that it? There. You're going to find coins that stick out. And let's see if we can make this work. Go back to the screen. Yep. And bring up that. There. Okay. You're going to find coins that stick out for some reason, one or the other. There's something different about it. You've got extra metal above the S, right? Or you have a cusp, for example, in the date. Or you've got extra thickness. Or you've got separation lines. Where'd that one go? I had 72 here. One moment. I got 30 coins. What's this one? No, that's not it. Okay, let's find it. Let's find it. There it is. I don't know what's over there. Bear with me. Here's an example of separation lines where it looks like you got, you know, one letter beside another letter. Okay, those are clear separation lines. And a lot of times mechanical doubling looks the most like double dies with separation lines, but they're separate and distinct types of issues. Okay, where's the 70? You don't see anything here, but those are separation lines. Then you have stuff you come across and you don't know what the heck's going on. Good Lord, what's going on? Damn it. Excuse me. I gotta check my note that says don't swear. Then you have some weird stuff going on, say with this one. Okay, let's see if we can see this okay. This is going to be difficult. Here's a neat one. Looks like a record. You got spinny little lines all the way around it. Coaxial radial lines. This would be lathe lines on this particular piece. I like this one. This is a wonderful piece. And you're going to come up with these things. Now, some of it's going to be easy, right? Your DDOs, double die obverses, they're going to be easy because you've got a lot of documentation on that, right? Your RPMs, like on that 55, just above the S, no pointy stick. Let me find it. There you go. You see at this level of zoom, it's going to be very difficult to see that, which is why you need that 10x loop at least. And it's right above that. You can, if you can see this from here, you're lucky, right? Over here, you've got something like this is a pretty strong double die obverse. You got big fat letters. Something like this you can pick up pretty easily, probably with a magnifying glass. The lathe lines, you can probably see that with your bare eye. The stronger the tool you have, the easier it's going to be. This is bare eye. This is a magnifying glass. This is probably a magnifying glass with the separation lines. But you get into this, and you've got to have a 10x loop minimum. And then if you really want to get a good look, you need a whole lot stronger than that. So getting the right tools is handy, and a 10x loop is the start of it all, really, because with that you can pick out any of these. Okay, but we've got to find, how do we decide what that coin is? We'll focus on the 72 first. Okay, DDOs, DDRs, and RPMs. And I keep spitting out these acronyms. So let me explain that first here. And we're going to get into, well, if this loads. Are we seeing the screen? We're on the screen, yeah. Okay, here's a list of die varieties, if I can get to it. There we go. And let me see if we can actually see that. Yeah, I've got this thing set up differently today, so bear with me. Your three biggest ones are DDO, DDR, and RPM. Right, so you've got DDO is double die obverse. That's where the hub has been slammed into the die twice, but at a different location. Same with the double die reverse. And depending on how far off that second location is, will determine the characteristics of that double die. RPM, those things were slammed in by hand with a hammer and a punch onto the die just before the die was put in service. So after 1989, there were no more reparts mint marks. But there's a whole lot of other things. You can have inverted mint marks, right, where that punch was upside down. Right, the guy just shifted it 180 degrees and sunk it in. You get over-punched mint marks. It's where they took a die from San Francisco, right, that had an S in there, and they sent it to Denver. Said, here, we got some extra ones. You can have them. Keep making pennies. And Denver put a D on there over the existing S. Okay, now you got two mint marks, one on top of the other. There's missing mint marks. All right, there's dual mint marks. It's got a D and an S. Try that one out. Yeah, they're out there. Mint mark varieties. These are neat. It's not so much an issue of an incorrect production process. They decided, okay, this is good, but we need to change that design for some reason. So now you go from a sans serif mint mark to a ball serif mint mark, or from a small mint mark to a large mint mark. You've got clash dies. These are varieties. They don't exist when the die is created. but they come into existence later on as the die is being used, and then all subsequent coins produced with that die will have these clash marks, right? The same with die chips, die cracks, die breaks, right? Die subsidence, cuds. These things appear after the die was produced. You've got cuds where a piece will break off the side of the die. And sometimes they don't break all the way off, so you've got retained cuds. And every one of these has little codes, right? CR for cud reverse, RCO or RCR for retained cud reverse. That's what all this gibberish is. Now, these have an S in front of them because this is part of the standard database that I'm putting together with, CoinDragon, for example. Dustin Morgan, Chris Rhodes, Amber Parnell, Jay Painter, Jody Gomez. We're all working on this collaboratively. Oh, let's see, you got doubled master dies. You find that a lot on 1972s. There are trail dies, which seems to be a polishing issue more than anything else. Then you have die pairs, and that's interesting. And that's how the front die and the reverse die come together. The 1909 SVDB, for example, you got 4 different die pairs used on those. You've got over polished dies. Here's one just for a normal design, and then you got some weird stuff out there. Wexler calls it UFO. I gave it UXA, unidentified or unexplained anomaly. But that's what these are. These are the little letters that say, you know, SDDO or WDDO or CDDO. FS uses some sort of alien language. FS 101, FS 202, 15.62. Whatever, man. At least they're consistent. Sometimes it does take some deciphering. Now that's a short, right? WDDO number 1 would be a short version. If you were to go the full, where is it here? The full nomenclature, you'd be looking at the nation, US, plus the denomination, US 1 cent, plus a series, US 1 cent, Lincoln cent, 1909 S, right? Type 1, RPM 002 or some darn thing. It can get rather involved to explain these fully, but we're going to focus, rather than on the long thing here, we're going to focus on just, you know, DDO, DDR, RPM. Make it easy on us. But I thought I'd show you how in-depth this can get. Let's have a look over here. We've got, here we go. Here we got copper coins, and I'm going to show you these sites in a moment. Right, 1951D. That's a real easy one. That tells you what's the date and mint mark on a coin. And he's got 1 mm, and with this is Chuck Daughtry's site. With his nomenclature, this refers to an RPM. And number 1, he's found several and listed this one first. That's as easy as that gets. And he explains it. It's a triple D repunch mint mark. It's existing on the southwest and to the east. Konica discovered the same piece, and in their listing they called it RPM, simple enough, and their first one, number 1. Wexler, same idea, puts a W in front of it. Wexler's real easy to work with. He's real simple. And, well, the process of deciding if my coin is this coin is pretty much hold it up and tell. Now, I had one of these out. Let's find it, because I got everything on this table right now. Where do you suppose that went? 1951D RPM. There, got it, found it. Be ready. I'm going to get it out of the holder and set that aside. Okay, we're going to go to the little scope here for a moment. Line it up. Okay, here's a 1951D. I'm going to have to shift this over to the left, and I might get cut off. Okay, we should be able to see this in side by side. Being able to see the darn thing is key. Right now, this is kind of on a lower zoom level, but this is the sort of thing on the right that you would see with a magnifying glass. To check these RPMs, dude, they're small. You've got to get in close and tight. Now, you can find an RPM with a 10x loop. But if you want to identify it, sometimes you need to go to a more powerful loop. These scopes do pretty well. Let's see if we can line that up. And I got a markup here. Tell you what I can do. Let me shift this over more. Okay, set it down. There, we can see this pretty well. Okay, come back home. It's gone. There it is. Now we've got these two side by side. Mint marks are interesting. You can always find stuff. And here, what I want to do is try to get these lines. You got a slight tilt on his photo, so I'll give a slight tilt over on mine. Here we go. Okay, a lot of it is hold up your specimen to the specimen listed in the other attributor's site, be it Wexler or Copper Coins or Variety Vista or photos in a book by Cohen or Newman or one of 100 different attributors. And what you're trying to do is get the best match. Here's a 1951D. Oh, I see. I don't want to move that left and right all that much. 1951D, and I've got several different RPMs. They're over to the west. This is the west and tilted. This one's down south. This one's to the left. This one's north, right? Over here it's tripled. You get little extra serifs here. The best thing you can do is take your coin and hold it up and pick out which one looks the closest. Yeah, it really is that simple. Now this one I know to be number 1. It's not this one here. Okay, there's various reasons behind that, and I'm about to get into that. It's not that one, although these are pretty close. Right? You can see some doubling of that RPM on the left and the bottom, on the left and on the bottom. Here on the left, a little bit on the bottom. Okay, here it's more towards the right. This is nowhere near what I'm trying to identify. Okay, this one here, nothing like it. This one, nothing like it. This bottom one, nothing. This one's way out. It's got it up on the top right, plus a big fat notch. It's attention to detail. Over here, it's on the right. On the bottom one, it's on the right. My best match so far is this guy right here, right, which we've identified as 1mm011. Here it is. All right, now we can look at that side by side again. Now he's going on to describe it. It's a major variety. It's obvious under light magnification. And the die has die crack in later die states. And you know what a bi is. That's where you have a die chip between the B and the E, or any 2 letters, or even multiple letters. So this doesn't have a die chip here, right? He's talking about it. I don't see it. But he's referring to later die states. So maybe I have an earlier die state. Because over time, these dies pick up wear, they pick up damage, little pieces will break off, you have cracks appear. And over the life of that die, while it's making the same darn mint mark, little features and little markers in the rest of the die can change. They can appear out of nowhere, they can wear out. Okay, now I've found the coin, right? I've inspected it, I've discovered this funny little mint mark, and I could probably get a sharper image on that. All right, now I want to identify it. There, that's almost there. Let me move that up just a bit. There you go. Okay, and it's tough, but this is a good match. And that's probably the best I'm going to do with the photography. Okay, but I want to check for these die markers. Every die has a fingerprint. Just like your fingerprints are different from mine, they're different from, a TV star, and they're different from a politician. Everybody has, and different from your mother's. They all have different die markers, or fingerprints, if you will. Let's see if we can find it here. Oh, this is the one that's on the back. That's right. Just because yours doesn't have the die marker doesn't mean it's not a match. Okay. One on this one is right above the C. This is my C, and I'm not going to be able to see this. I've got a faint line here. No, I'm not going to be able to show this one. I cannot make it out. Let me try twisting this. Yeah, we're going to have some fails in this class because we're getting into difficult territory. I don't know if we can see that one, but there is a line. If I can get this right, there is a line which exactly matches the line Copper Coins is showing over here, and that's my fingerprint. Every single coin will have that. Now, later stages, it may disappear. Huh? I thought every coin had that. Well, it was there, but they come and go. The trick is to match them as best you can. If you can get a couple of these die markers to show up, you're doing pretty good. They're going to disappear as the coin wears, right? This coin has had some some impacts, as you can see. Here's a little contact mark. The date has taken a hit here in the bottom of the 9. They do take a little beating here and there, so it's never going to be an exact match, but sometimes you can make it happen. Let's look at that that 55. Where the heck that go? That 55S under the close-up, and compare that to here. There's a 55S. And that's not my close-up. Go back to there. There we go, 55S. And we're going to look for some markers on this one. Boy, this is tough. Okay, you've got the marks above the S. All right, look at the mint mark. It is lined up perfectly with the bottom of the 9 and a 5. You go vertically, follow that line of the 5 straight down. And that's a perfect match for location. It's a perfect match for these, the repunchings right here. Copper Coins goes on, and you get into the die scratches. So these are the fingerprints on these things. I'm looking for a fairly sizable one from the S going over to the T in trust. Now let's try to get that oriented so it matches the photo and see if we can see that. And this is going to be tough because you're getting the itty bitty here. But I want to see it from around the center of that S in this general direction. Let's see, about a third way down. Can I make this out? Gosh, this is tough. We're trying to get looks. We're into the microscopic sizes here. Well, this is where your eyeball is stronger than the photography. Your eyeball's going to pick up stuff that photographs never will. Let's try under the S, where we have a fairly bold line. Okay, we're starting to see something right in here. I might pick that one up. Yeah, that's a die marker. It's a scratch on the die where the die was polished and left a mark. Left a scratch, left a fingerprint. Let's try over here at Liberty, where we got northeast to southwest lines. And these, you can figure these are pretty much unmistakable here. The general pattern of lines here. I've got some strong ones above the E. And there's my line right here. I've got this lined up, oriented left to right, pretty much square, right? Horizontal. And I'm starting to see these lines. And this is the fingerprints. Let's see, at the end of the E, yeah, it goes from the center of the R to the end of the E and straight down. That big fat line goes from the center of the R to the E and downward. So what we're trying to do is match up as many of these die markers as we possibly can. Now, I've got on the reverse, I should have in one of the wheat ears on the left side. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. Some of them are really easy to pick out. Here we've got a die, just a little tiny die chip. 1, 2, 3. Third line in. 1, 2, 3. Just a bit down from the tip of the stock. That's a beautiful match. And down at the bottom of the right stem, I should have a sort of just a gouge. Where the heck is that? It should be right around this area. Is this it? That looks like a fair match for location. Yeah, let me turn that. And that, yeah, we're not going to see this on this camera, but this is the this appears to be the gouge in question. It's comparison. You're holding up what you have to what they have. I've got Wexler. Where's Wexler? Copper Coins is easiest because he's got the best photos. Wexler, he's got pretty good photos. He tends to talk about the die markers more than show them. He does have some photos. This is the 72. Let me pull that up. There we go. This is a 72 WDDO number 3. You can go through this whole list and he'll have die markers explained for each stage. As the die wears, they call it, stage A, stage B. There's a progression to it. But you can dig up the darn things. The first thing is identifying exactly, is this the coin that I have? Because a couple of these are going to be pretty darn similar. Let me try to focus this a little bit better. That's probably the best I'm going to do is focus, as far as focus goes. Let's go over here and take a look at the TR. It's attention to details what it gets down to. Let me move this around just a bit. There we go. You're looking at the attention to detail. On the R, you've got a narrower separation at the top. On the bottom, it's wider. Well, geez, his picture's a beautiful coin, and mine's been bunged up real good. I mean, it just clawed. Look at this thing; it's clawed up. On the T, the same pattern, more narrow at the top, and widens out the bottom. But mine's bunged up. Hard to tell. You do the best you can, and what you're looking at is a preponderance of the evidence. Here's the U. Same darn thing. I got this extra bit on the left side. I got this gunk on it. He don't have gunk on it. How am I trying to match my stuff to his stuff? Well, we do the best we can, but the general pattern here is similar, right? Starts at the top on the inside of the U. You got a dominant feature here. So the left side was the initial punch, and the right side was the finishing punch. You can keep on going down, compare the U, compare the S. Just on the outside of the S, I've got that same bit of doubling. It's a good match so far. Over here, I've got, again, wider, thinner at the top, and getting wider at the bottom. But again, I'm smashed up. I can look at different features and keep identifying it. And eventually, I'm going to get this is so darn close. I get so much supporting evidence. Bottom of the L, yes, yes. Side of the L, I'm not making much out here. Okay, my coin has more damage than his. The B, dude, I can't see a thing on that. All right, keep going. Try the 2. Try the 72 here. And he's got this arrow pointing to a line coming out of the 1. Can I see that one? No, I'm not going to be seeing that one anytime soon. Keep going. How about a little line at the top of the E in Liberty? I'll never see that in this camera. Okay, here's a bigger one at the base of the vest. Just in front of it, down by. Let's orient that. There. There's a vest, and so mine's a bit larger in the magnification, but I've got that little divot exactly where it should be. There's my vest ends, and just off to the right, I've got a divot, he's got a divot. That's a great match. Let's look at the reverse. See if we can find that little divot to the right of FG. Now that's tiny. That's a pinhole. I can't even find the coin here. There we go. And you got to look at spatial comparison, right? I'm coming straight across from the line in the F above the G. I should have this this little gouge. Can I see anything there? No. How about below? I've got a little spot here he's trying to show me. And I bet you this is it. Right in here. You can wiggle your coin around, change the light. But this is a good match otherwise. Well, at least I'm happy with it. You can go through and check more and more of these markers. and they do change over time. But I want to get going on. Different things you want to check. You're looking for these die markers. You're looking for the position of that mint mark, right? Is it to the right? Is it to the left? Is it lined up side to side, top to bottom? Is this too far north? That's going to be a key indicator. You're looking for extra metal, extra thickness, the cusps, the separation lines. After that, you want to compare your coin not only to one database. Let me go to the top here. Now, there's 3 primary databases that I use, and you're going to find these in the description down below. Let me find my way home. One moment. Wow, that's slow. I got a lot going on in this little computer right now, so it's going to be a little slow. There we go. Okay, down here is the description. I've got the first one in there is the key information websites, and that is on my blog. I want to catch up and chat in a moment. That's not it. Let me find my blog and go home, screen it. There you go. Here's my blog. 1millionpenniesproject.blogspot.com, and over here on the right side you have this links, right? You got to jump to, and it's got key information websites, and the link to that is in the description below, and it's going to take you to this particular page. And you have Numista, Konica, Cuds on Coins, Variety and Errors, Trail Dies, Mad Die Clashes, 1 Million Pennies Project, of course. That's general information. You get into specialized, you get copper coins, the Lincoln Cent Resource, 3-cent nickel, Brian's Varieties, seeded dime varieties. And each of these is very similar to Variety Vista, to copper coins, to Wexler's site, doubledie.com, where it's a massive listing of die varieties. Right? Now, copper coins, he deals with Lincolns. Wexler, he's got a listing that is more extensive. It gets into well, just about every modern variety is being used, and you can go through his stuff there. But he's got a menu over here on the left, and you click on the RPM listings or double die listings or OMM listings, right? Or IMM listings. That's where you find a menu that'll take you further in. You want to look for RPMs on Jefferson nickels, you click in there. You want to look at double dies on Roosevelt dimes, you want to go into double die listings. Where's Variety Vista gone? Is it? Possibly. Variety Vista, here you go. This is the Konica site. And they also have a number of different series that they go to, and they're handy because you get snapshots of all the coins up at the start, so you can just go through and put your coins side by side. Right? Does this D match which one best? Does it match this one? Yes, no, yes, no. And you go into each one of them separately. No, it's not that one for sure. It's not this one for sure. It's for sure not that one. Oh, definitely not that one. But here you can see the mint mark location and give that as a quick decision. This one, no, my D is tilted more to the left rather than to the right. I can switch sides. I'm not going to be able to see the other side. That's no problem. I can see these, but I can compare quickly and easily with that. Wexler, although he's thorough, you've got to go through each item in the list and keep scrolling down until you can find a match. But he's got a whole lot of, he's got probably more pictures than anybody else. Each one has advantages and disadvantages. He explains it more. Copper coins, okay, you got a great search engine on that one. Let me go to the top here. Okay, we're not going to see it there. Where are you here? This it? Okay, I'd have to go home and, well, anyway, you go to the home page and he's got a search engine. You just type in what you want for a date, select a mint mark, select obverse or reverse, whatever the issue is you're looking for. And again, you're going to get a list of coins and you can compare quickly what you have to what he's got. Yes, maybe. This is a maybe. This is no way. This is no way. No way. So you don't have to investigate these further. But you can narrow it down to, well, this is the best candidates, these three, and check each one of them out individually. It's busy work, right? Copper coins will have things listed that Variety Vista won't. Where are you here? There you go. Variety Vista gets into the moderns. Copper coins, well, he kind of stopped around 2005. He's doing a whole lot of other things right now in the industry, within the hobby. There we go. 2011. Let's see if I can look at this one and get a quick and easy match. Variety Vista, I got 3 different 2011s listed. Now, Copper Coins doesn't have any 2011s listed. Wexler's got, what, 5? They don't always have one is not a clone of the other. That's important to understand. They are different sites. And I want to find the date on this one. Let's see if I can show this up easily. Okay, here's that 2011 we started off the day with. Let me try to zoom in here. Now I know it's odd, it's special, it's unique. Something's going on with it. I've got the RTY. This is fat and huge, right? But if I go to the Variety Vista site and look, well, their shortcuts don't show RTY. They only show 2011 or BER on the other side here. So I'm left with comparing my, one particular aspect to what they have. Well, if I look at the cuspices is over here on his number 1. Well, they're in a different direction. Mine are pointing at 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Over here, they're pointing at 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock. But if I look at the middle one, dude, that's a dead-on match. Okay, my 1s, they're identical. Over here, I got some sloping on the tops and bottoms of the 1s. I've got the cusp line up. I've got thickness. I've got a thin spot on the 2, and a bit thicker on this this long slope. All right. Now, if I can see this 3rd one, and I'm going to shift that over. There we go. Now I can see the 3rd one. Let's find my way home here. On the 3rd one, he only shows the BER and Liberty, but mine's not a match. My E is thinner on the top, right? He's got a slope on the bottom. He's got a little notch in the corner of his B, his E, and his R, which I don't seem to have. But I've got a lot of extra thickness. Well, I'm going to investigate this one in the middle. Hello, let me investigate that. There you go. Now I've got a whole pile of photos, and I'm going to look at strong extra thickness on the date, Liberty, and God We Trust, with some notches in the lower right corners. But they're a whole lot smaller than that 3rd one. That's not it. Where do I want to be? I want to be here and pull that up. Okay, so now we can take In God We Trust, and it's comparison. Compare what you have to what they have. And if every little detail matches, you got a great match. If 99% of the details are a perfect match, you're probably good. If you get a match on one piece, it's a perfect match on the O in the date, but Liberty is not a match. You can't call that good. You got to be pretty darn close. The bigger the detail, right? The R, for example, is huge. Right? The I is tiny. Okay, you want to check the details first and work your way down. Let's see if he's got some markers in here. There we go. We get in the bottom, we got some markers. I'm looking for a die gouge northwest of the date. Boy, this is going to be darn impossible to find that. It should be, let's see, looking at his photo, I'm going up at about a 40-degree angle. Should be right about there. See a little black spot? I bet you that's it. Right there. You can see it. That's that die gouge. And you shift your coin, wiggle it back and forth, it should appear. If it doesn't appear, well, it's probably not there. Can we see that part? Yeah, you get a die gouge and a hair. And what is this? This is a later stage, stage B. I'm going to flip this over. Nope, nope. I'll leave it right there. I'm looking for the die gouge in the hair first. A die crack. Okay, see the W? That's your hint. I'm going to line that up so it's a good match and look for a fine crack. It's going to be very, very fine. Right around this general area. Now this camera may not be picking it up. So you got to go to the loop to identify these fine things. Maybe. I can't quite pick it up with a loop. All right, let's look at the back. We got a die crack on the shield. These die cracks, if you see them, they need to be a spot-on match. There we go. I've got a die crack on the shield. Now over here, it starts to the left of P. This one starts to the left of P. Right, it's a little thicker above the L. It's a little thicker above the L. Above the U, I've got some major doo-doo coming, some distortion coming on. This is probably a perfect match. This confirms what I have. Over on the left side, we get a die crack going from the shield to the E. And that is exactly what I see. Right? These are, we're confirming the fingerprints on that. Okay, I'm going to take a break here and find the chat, because I don't even know if anybody's here. The chat's the best part, and I always miss it. There's home. Give it a moment. I'm trying to load up this page. Jeez, am I even live? There we go. Great job. I grew some brain cells. Okay, coin finder, potty mouth. How come no one's watching cartoons? You got me. It's the same as cartoons. Yeah, I saw lathe lines. Yeah, they're around here somewhere. Where'd that one go? There it is. These lathe lines are really slick. There's one site that talks about lathe lines. If you're going to find them, good Lord, where are we? Let me get back to the screen. There we go. Nope. Lathe lines. This is that lathe line coin. Yeah, there's one site that has attributed these, that has gone through and compared one next to the next. And that is, where is it? Error Variety. It's Jason Caboulier's site. Errorvariety.com. And again, this is in that list I showed you over at the on my blog with the key information websites. And you'll find a link to this page in the description down below. So where's the lathe lines? Here we go. Again, it's holding up what you have to what he has. 1996, very common year for lathe lines. There's a couple of others. 1989, 1964, 59D. Dude, they're not very common, these things. Here's an 82D on a 50-cent Washington commemorative $50. The rest of there's a nickel somewhere. Oh, let's see. Jefferson and Kennedy nickels. 5 cents, 50 cents, 5.50, 5.55. Kind of neat. No, there aren't that many, but they're not the same either. Here is, LL014. He's got several listed. This is the 14th one in his list. And we're going to hold this up and look at it side by side. Let me see if you can see that part of the screen. Okay, I need to shift it back again. There we go. Yeah, I think this will work. Okay. I'm going to look at my specimen and compare it to what they have. Okay, I've got lathe lines. They stretch from the rim and go inward some degree. We're fighting the photography here. Above the we and trust, that's a little bit weaker, right? It doesn't quite stretch as far in. It's a little thinner there. I've got a gouge in front of his forehead. Let's look at the date. Well, it's rather thin down here, but mine's rather pronounced. Let's look at In God We. I've got pronounced lines going through In God. Maybe nothing up here at the We, but mine are pronounced. Not really a match. Have I got a die crack in his head? No. Have I got die scratches or polishing marks below his ear? I'd have to zoom in, but I'd say no. Have I got a big giant gouge in front of his forehead? Be right around here somewhere. And in this particular case, the answer is no. I can look at the back. Well, I could look at, just say I'm not seeing all that stuff. Let's look at this one. Okay, I've got fairly deep penetration from the rim towards the center on the lathe lines. Okay, they tend to thin at the D, about halfway through, maybe one line more. Okay, I've got thinning starting at the T in trust, right, moving up towards the U. I can't see beyond that. Over in God, it comes into in God, goes right through. Liberty penetrates as far as the B and then peters out. Mind penetrates as far as the B and then peters out. Okay, here's a close-up of the D. Let's have a look at that. So far, this is a pretty smart match, whereas the other one was a little bit weak. And let's see if I can get the focus on this. And that's going to change, the light is going to change and make it difficult. But I've got 1, 2, 3 lines that intersect that D. Over my specimen, if I could, let me zoom. I'm going to have to change that so we can see what we're talking about. I've got 3 lines that intersect that D. Wow, this ain't working. Okay, let's have a look at the head. Here I've got a die crack in the back of the head, but I don't have a die crack on mine. Well, a die crack is going to be one of those markers that comes and goes. We know for a fact that those lathe lines are going to be pretty consistent through every die stage. But if a die crack appears, well, he's got it here, but I don't have it on mine. Perhaps I have an earlier die stage than he does. Let's look just above the forehead. We can see a little gouge. And I totally lost my focus. And that's that little gouge right here that we see. Well, that matches up. This one matches, but the die crack doesn't. Well, that tells me perhaps I came in with my coin after this gouge was placed, but before this crack appeared. I can go back to the C. Where are you here? There's a coin. That's a C in cent because nothing else is that big. I want to see the start of a blemish right in the center of the C, which is what I have on this specimen. Okay. Going by what I just saw, I would say that my coin is not number 14, but it is a pretty solid match for number 15. Now he's got what, 25, 30 of these darn things? Where are you? 96D. And again, he's got some later die stages, MDS, LDS, that's middle die state, late die state, 9, 10, 11, 15, 17, 18, 18R, 16. He's got a bunch. He's got 16 of them. Mine's a good match for his 15th. You can't get this on Wexler. You can't get these on copper coins. You can't get them on Varieties. Those 3 sites are primarily interested in double die, obverse, and reverse, and RPMs. So it's when you get into these odd things. How about clash dies? Well, you go to clashdies.com. Where are you? And you'll find that over here. You got CUDs on coins, and then you got die chips, die breaks, and die cracks. What we need is a single database, and so we're working on that. We're trying to develop the standard database. This is not yet ready for. That's not it. It's not ready for viewing just yet. It still needs some more stuff added. But this would be one database where you don't have to go to Wexler to look at one item and then compare it to copper coins to see if maybe, since it didn't match Wexler, I can go to Varieties and see if there's a match there. But you still have copper coins, and maybe it's a match over there. It's difficult. These sites, they don't always have the same listings. They don't have the same numbering system, right? Wexler number 4 could be copper coins number 16, which would be Varieties number 19. Just because that number on the end is 19 doesn't match across the databases. The nomenclature is different. It's the order in which they were listed. So you got to check them all. If you don't check them all and call it something new, well, maybe it's already been discovered and cataloged by somebody else. And that really is the last part. It's inspection, discovery, identification. Once you identified it, it's confirmation or catalog it. Now the confirmation, that's where you look at those die markers. And if you're not finding a match, then perhaps you have a new discovery. And if so, you want to get it cataloged. Now Wexler, you can send him $5 on the coin and postage, and he will compare what you have to what's in his database. Miles, or Wiles, Dr. Wiles here, James Wiles over at Konica, he'll do the same darn thing. I do this, and we're putting the photos into the standard databases. We're coming into this. Chuck Daughtry over at Copper Coins, he was doing this, but he stopped for a while. Don't know if he's going to come back to it. He's doing his thing right now. Well, that's okay. Let him live his life. There's a lot more than just the coins. I have no idea what it would be. Let's find our way home and get in the chat and see where we are. Most of it is about comparing what you have with what's known, but you have to know where to go to compare. And then if it is new, what's the next step after that? And remember, we talked about documentation and taking notes several shows ago. That's where this comes in. Wexler, he's just taking notes and keeping track of those notes. He's got samples, specimens. Here we go. What do you got here? If you find one, keep it. This is a WGDO number 2 on a 2011. So I've got a specimen. I can compare, if you have one, and send it in. I can compare it to this and get, well, pretty darn close match. And after that, I'm looking at the die markers. Do they change? Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, perfect. Here we have a quarter. Now, Konica calls that DDR 069. Of course, they got more stuff on there, too. That's just part of their nomenclature. Where the 69 is the number, right? 69. R or O, that's obverse or reverse. And it's a double die. And this is the class number is what that is. Yeah. Everybody has their own little system. How do we all get on the same page when they don't always match up by number? Okay, we can work that. They don't always have the same listings. Okay, we can list them all. So we have the standard database we're trying to put together. Where the heck are you? And wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. And pull up the Lincoln Cents. We might have to wait for it again. Good Lord, there we go. So now we can take and compare all of them. Here we got Konica, right? Reverse die variety number 1, number 2. Here we got DDO number 1, number 2. How does it match to Wexler? Right, I got Wexler's stuff in the next column. I got Copper Coins after that. So we're able to cross-reference, right? And now the numbers don't matter so much, because even if they don't match, I've got that cross-reference for that coin. For DDO, in our number, it's number 2. And it happens to be the same number 2 for everybody else, but it's not always that. But cross-referencing is tough, because they don't always match up. Konica says it's number 1. They say it's Wexler 4. But Wexler says it's Konica 3. Sometimes, geez, they don't match up, so I got to go and keep researching that further. This is a chore. It's a nightmare, let me tell you. But if we can pull this off, and we're getting there, well, you'd have one site where you can just take your coin and compare it to the pictures, and everything is cross-referenced. So even if we don't have the pictures yet, let me pull this out of here. Let me pull this out of my butt. Lincoln Memorial Cents, Lincoln Wheat Cents. Pick a year. There you go, 1938. All right, so you're going to have, oh, the pickup points. What's going on with my coin? What I want to look at, and come on down the list and, well, hold it up and look at the pictures. But you got cross references. Our DDO number 7 is Copper Coins number 2. Right? our DDR number 4 is Wexler number 3. And we're going to add links in here, for example. And we've been adding photos, and that will also help. I have no photos on this particular page yet. But no matter. It's the cross-referencing that makes it work, because you don't have to check everybody. You don't have to check Wexler and Crawford and Breen and Variety Vista and Copper Coins if we can get them all cross-referenced. That's what we're trying to do. There's a lot of just little nitpicky bookkeeping parts where you just go back and forth from one blog, one site, one database to the next. Oh, I'm going to blow my nose again in just a moment. Let's see, where do we go? Home. There's home. Oh, and chat. So we found our way home. Comparison, hold it up and take a look. Is that really the best way? Sort of. You've got to get past identification first. A lot of people still have trouble with MD. Is this MD or is it doubling? So this class is a bit more advanced. If you hold up your coin and compare it, and it looks like a good match, you can still be incorrect. There's a 35 Chris Rhodes had, and it was MD all the way. And boy, it was, I mean, it was a 95% match to what Wexler had, but it wasn't good. It didn't have any of the markers. And there were some issues also. It didn't have the same characteristics of doubling. They were flat, whereas the doubling would be equal height and wider. But his are flat, and by God, they looked awful close. So when in doubt, well, put your coin up in the coin up group, and you get the opinion of a whole bunch of other people. I'm sick of buying crappy loops. Me too. That's why I get these. These are, you know, $3 a piece. They're cheap loops, but they do the job. If you want to spend 50 bucks, hey, I'm all for it. You know, you get what you pay for. These will get you by 50 bucks. And now I'm going to spend half my time trying to protect the darn thing rather than pulling it out and using it. These are clean enough and clear enough. I finally bought a good loop. Outstanding, Susan. Now, along with the loop, you got to have the information. Oh, let's see. Now, there are websites out there that are free. Where's a good one here? Oh, this is perfect. All right, the websites are beautiful because you can look at them and they're free, but they're kind of limited. Let's say you get into older coins. Here's the authoritative reference on 3-cent nickels, which we're not gonna see because it's too darn bright. Do you like 3-cent nickel die varieties? Here we go. This is Fletcher and Flynn. Let's see if we can have a look at that. And it's the same idea as what you have online, but it's in print form. Well, geez, now you're getting into some stuff. These you're getting into some stuff that's less common. Double dies on an 1873 cent piece. Yeah, they're out there. I found them. Maybe you want to identify map proofs positively. Right? Oh, this is my baby. This came in yesterday. It's the American half cents by Roger Cohen. So you can look up die varieties on half cents. And this is a library. You're not going to find this stuff online. So if you really want to get hardcore into it, you'll need to start building that library. And there you get into some crazy information that is priceless. And mind you, Cohen, maybe he missed something, right? Flynn, he's still around, but maybe he missed something in his 3-centers or his 2-center book. So this is why you keep your own notes and keep a specimen here and there. You get an extra one, sell that off. I see them better on your coin, but Jason, would you like to get one of those from Amber 2? Penetrate, Peter, potty mouth again. Penetrate. Well, anyway, build a library. Getting these coins and books out, putting them together in one spot. That's always a trick. These books, I mean, they're going to be 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 50. What was that Wexler book? That was a $45 book. There you go. This Wexler's authoritative reference on Lincoln Sense. Right? Same publisher, same format as the Flynn's book. And Flynn worked on this one. Lots of stuff here. It's much like Wexler's site, but in print form. That's 45 bucks with shipping because it weighs more than a baby. Good Lord. You got green. The shipping on this one is 10 bucks because that's bigger than, where's that dollar coin I had? There you go. That's thicker than an Ike. Got an Ike? Yeah. That's a tome. These, if you can find it for less than 100 bucks, grab them. That's Breen's Encyclopedia. The library is maybe not right now, but it should be if you get into it. Just a logical progression of what you're trying to do. And let's get the information available at your fingertips, because the web doesn't have, geez, most of this stuff. You've got just a surface, and still you've got several thousand dive varieties to work with. Well, plan on a library maybe in the future. They're going to be pricey, but if you have them, you can take your coin and say, ah, yes, this is a known variety. It's number, KYF 217 or some darn thing. Or Kevin Flynn and Fletcher, number whatnot. Hit it like it owes you money. Oh, hit the like button. It's always fun. So what I try to do in this class is get a book out every now and again. Where did we go? We had one. Now I'm going to start simpler. No, the $45 book's not going to go out. But I do have a copy of Photo Grade, and that's a work by James Ruddy. So at least you can take your coin and again compare it with the photos and say, ah, my coin is as good or better than this one, which is very good. What is that? Drake Bus half cent. So you can grade your coins. And these are pretty darn handy, let me tell you. We give them away. We give away one every week here. Okay, it's real simple. If you want to get involved in this, I'm going to put a coin up here and we'll just guess the date. That's as simple as that gets. And I'll pick one from over here. Oh, I know. Where'd that one go that was beautiful? Oh, this is spectacular. I like this one. Now, I gotta go to screen. Yep. I gotta zoom out. Yep. Can we do this yet? No, I'm not on the... There's a screen. Let me find the chat. I might not be able to do this. I'm gonna have the screen and the chat and the picture. Okay. Now you got a dime here, and we're trying to come up with a date. Let me check and make sure so I know what it is. Oh yeah. The first one to get the date is going to win this photo grade book. So go. Yeah, that's a tome. My dad was born on the 20th. I need the books. Yeah, some libraries will have some books. The Breen catalog, that was available to us back in the 80s. Printed up in 88. And if you could get it, oh man, it was like finding treasure. I suck at dates. Well, no matter, there it is. If you get the right date, I'm gonna send this photo grade. So up above my head, get back to that regular view. That's where you're gonna send if you do win this by guessing the date. I'll need your shipping address sent there. Let me take a look again here. I'm gonna write it down this time. Yeah. I can't even see the darn thing. I had it written down, but I done lost all my stuff. Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. There we go. We'll put that up here. Oh, okay, we screwed that one up. Let's start over. Yeah, we're going to start over here. because I just botched that by showing it. All right, start over. We're going to do it with this $50. It's an S mint mark, and that might help you narrow it down because some dates don't have an S mint mark. But we're going to do it on this coin because I showed the front of the other one. And I show you much of the front of this. Let me take it out of that. But I can't show you the date. There you go. But you can get the series, and that'll give you a clue as to what the date is. It's an S mint mark. It's got this girl on the front. Got a flag. A little worn out. Let's look at the back. Has an eagle. Big, proud, handsome bird. So it has to be a year that the S's were made on $50. Now I can't tell if people are trying. 1880. Well, if you knew the series, you'd be able to get a better idea of the dates involved. That could help you out. But I haven't shown the date on this one. I darn blew it on that half dime before, on that seated dime. Okay, what do we got? 1910, 1880, 1904, 1889, 1908, 1903, 1909, 1910, 1903. So close. You guys are pretty close. You got to realize they started making these things in 1916. They stopped making them in 1946. So somewhere in between there is a date on this coin. 1887. Well, he wants to bid and pitch in. 1927, 1888, 1900. Oh, if you only knew how close you were. Now, you can guess as many times as you like. The computer will shut you off after like 6 in a minute. 1943. Haven't seen the date yet. 1940, 1910. I bet you half the people have been cut off already. 1901. It's a handy book to have, the photograph. I should have done a shorter series. Tim Garrett says 1927. 1917 out there. 47, 49. 57, 30, 18, 35, 22. Well, it's none of those. 46. I think John's going backwards. He'll probably catch it eventually. Might take a few minutes. But some people have been kind of close. And we'll just wait for it. 44. 23. Not 23. Not 20. 36, 43, 35, 38, 44, 23. I'm getting several at a time. It's not giving me continual scrolling. That's odd. I got 30 windows open. That might have something to do with it. 30, 24, 33, 46, 39, 31, 36, 39, 40, 36. Let me see. What I can do is start shutting down some windows. Maybe that'll help speed it up. Oh, this is walking. I showed the face of the seated, so we can't use that. Let's see, 36, 31, 47, 41, 42, 45. I'll shut off a couple of windows while we're waiting. Oh God, this is going to take forever just to kill these windows. Yeah, this is going to take too long. I'll stop doing that. Don't mess with a computer in the middle of a class. Gosh, I can't get back. I screwed up. Yeah, so that's which we can't see the coin. Wow, I can no longer see YouTube. Okay. There it is. Let me scroll back up just a moment here. This is a hard one, isn't it? I should have gone with something simpler, like a Susan B. Anthony doll or an Ike. 41, 36, 48, 45, 42, 18, 41. That's we were here before. Okay, we may have to do that. Let's get a simpler one. Let's cancel that one. That's just too darn hard. This is also, that one's too darn easy. Okay, this one we should be okay with. Let's try a different coin with a more limited date range. Susan. Nope, that's not that one. Paula, right there. I see 1929 Paula had. Good God, we finally got a winner at 1921. What that, 10 minutes? Now I gotta go back because I've got two people now. Coin Dragon also has 1929. I'm gonna go back and see if anybody else has 1929 and who came up with it first. There's Susan Payne with stop. It's trying to scroll past me. Coin Dragon with 1929. Before Coin Dragon, I got Paula with 1929. Okay, let's go back a little more. 1939, 325. This thing's still moving. I'll go way back. Okay, stand by. The computer is crapping on me right now. Pause. Stand by. Who got 1929 first is what we need to know. So I see Mantic with 1929. All right, let's find out. Okay. I'm not able to make this thing work. If one of the moderators could check and see who came up with 1929 first. Here's Hoogie and then Lincoln. Wow, I'm going to come up with an easier way. Good Lord. Right now I see Mantic as the first with 1929. I'd like to get this done because I still have not gone to the store. I only got about 3 hours of sleep in there. Now, I've skipped a bunch in there. As far as I can tell, Mantic is first with 1929. But this thing is awfully skippy. It's not responding. I'm having a very hard time with this computer. I'm about to smack it, really. Get the camera out and just whale it. Right now, I see Mantic is the first one with 1929. Yeah, I didn't see anybody earlier. 1899? Okay, right now I see Mantic. Can somebody confirm that it's Mantic? Otherwise, we'll start all over. Can we get chat? Is this thing even responding to me? Wait for it. I've been stressing this computer out. It's pretty darn. It's a Walmart computer. Respond to me, please. Oh, where is the hammer? Nothing is happening. Huh. There. Bill 45 says Mantic got it. 119 Hoagies. I'm pretty sure Mantic is the winner on this one. Mantic the first I can see. Again confirmed by Lincoln. Lincoln, Mantic. Mantic as far back as I can go. Thank heavens. Mantic. Yours. Love it. Live it. Like it. Let it become the fiber of your very existence. It's a good one. Your kids could like it. Mrs. Mantic could use a refresher. And if you're done and don't need it anymore, give it to somebody else. This is becoming your way. That's what I said. Way to go, Shay. I hope I had me, Hoogie, then Lincoln. Several people got it, but this thing, it's at a point. I got 37 windows open, 200 photographs, 3 cameras hooked up in different configurations, and I'm trying to chat live. Huh? Okay, I'm kind of pushing the envelope on this. And this out here in the woods with the connection that I got. That was a bit of a challenge. Well, no matter. I've got another couple of these, so we'll set that right up. Yeah, it's in great shape. They're not particularly expensive, but geez, they are handy. And you don't usually get these close to home, right? You'll love it. I've talked about that before. That's worked great. Yeah, no, you don't get the 1929. This actually belongs to somebody else. I think it does. I don't know. I got so much stuff on my table here. I've got to give it some attention. That was a difficult class because it does get rather involved when you try to, identify your die varieties. Maybe it's worth sending in that $5 and shipping along with each coin. It could shut out the window. Oh, that was a 1929 Walking Liberty half. We were just trying to. Where the heck did it go? There you go. We're just trying to use that as to determine who gets the who wins the book. Yeah, it's a nice little pretty thing. Got an S. It's a 1929 S. Okay, that works. So go back home here. How do I do that? Well, yeah. Did you even see that? Oh, I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to put this back the way it was, and I'll be happy. When was there a walker? Did anybody actually see the walker during all that? Okay, it's time for me to call it quits. Look, I got to take a nap. I got to get some groceries. I got to pack some stuff. This desk is a wreck. Good Lord, we got to be ready for tomorrow's show. Tomorrow we have the big show. Again, of course, there is a community-supported giveaway. And the more donations come in, the bigger the prize gets. It's progressive in that particular aspect. We've had some great prizes before. Gosh, you folks, stay groovy. Let's see what else I got to talk about. Oh, the wheat bag. We got people in on the wheat bag. We hit the limit, so invoices need to go out shortly. Bear with me. I've got a lot on my plate just now. There we go. This thing's giving me trouble. And yeah, we'll go from there. Now, YouTube is saying the chat is saved along with the video, but apparently that's got some glitches. It's not happening. Thanks for the lesson. ADD much? Every day? No, wait. 5 times a day? No, wait. Several times per hour? No, wait. I'm having a show today. Mantic Coins comes on in about an hour, 5:30 Eastern Time. We want a boogie prize. Get a show of your own and you can give away any prize you like, baby. We'd love to see more shows. I'm not the only one who can teach stuff. Everybody learns differently. So, well, geez, if you get on and do a video on how to do what it is you do, that'll be handy. Susan Payne, we're getting a bag of wheats. I believe you're on the list. I'm not going to look right now. It's a lot. But we're getting together. We're going to open a bag of wheats right here, count them up, look at a few, and ship them out. It'll be fun. It'll be something nobody's done before. Why not? It's 1 million. No, just 5,000. Okay, look. I'm in the weeds up here. I'm buried up to here, and I really have to use the bathroom. So you folks, I'm going to tell you, keep with it. Stick with it. The longer you do this, the more you work with your coins, talk with coin people, the more you're going to learn. And that's that information that makes you better at your hobby. And being better at the hobby can improve your situation. So it's a feedback loop. Stick with it. Keep with it. Hunt through rolls. Look at coins. Read about coins. Talk to each other. Because that's how we all learn. 4:30 Central. Now, right now it's 4:30 Eastern time. And I think it's an hour difference. So about an hour he should be on. Mantic's coming up next. I'm probably going to miss much of your show because I have a lot to do. And we'll go from there. Guys, stay safe, stay groovy, and keep at it. We'll see you later now.